Hello guys, thanks for tuning in. Where do I start? Okay, essentially I wanted to give you an update following my year in 2014. Events have led me to want to take this on a different track. For those of you who know me will already know, but essentially there's been a story in the American media, and certainly it's travelled over the Atlantic, but there was a transgender teenager called Layla Alcorn who committed suicide in the last few days. Essentially, she came out to her mum as someone who had transgender issues at 14, and her mum wouldn't entertain it whatsoever. Her parents were Christians and very I'm trying to choose kind words here, but they had a very kind of warped idea of what Christianity and what the teachings of Jesus were. So they tried to control her in various ways. You know, they took her away from her social media, they took her phone away, her computer away. They, you know, more or less ostracized her from all her friends and her support. They cut her off from basically anything and everything that she could seek support from. You know, it carried on for a few years, but eventually she became so sad, and she knew that she would never be accepted by her family, or she felt that she could never come to terms with facing the oppressions and aggressions that she would face being a transgender person, so she took her own life. She was 17. That is so sad. It's kind of inspired me to set up something to make a difference. Her dying wish was that her life wouldn't be lost in vain. She wanted her death to be a lesson to others. She wanted her, from her suicide, for something good to come from it. There's already a movement in America to set up a thing called Layla's Law. I haven't gone into this now, sorry, but essentially her parents also tried Christian aversion therapy, and the difference between going to the therapist that they took her to and other therapists was their belief systems were very different, so she would never have the therapy that she needed. I mean, Layla identified as female, she was a female, and therefore, you know, she should have had specialist LGBT or transgender therapy, not someone who was going to try and persuade her that what she was doing was wrong, that God was never right. Sorry, God was always right, I beg your pardon. And therefore, you know, she had to accept what she was and just be the person that she'd been born to be, rather than the person that she was. It's really, really sad. So I've set up a network called LGBTQ Support Network. I've set it up with the whole premise that I don't want anybody else to feel that they're alone. It doesn't matter who or what you are. I think everyone has a right to express themselves as themselves. Everyone should be, basically everyone should have the right to be themselves. Sorry, I'm really struggling with this. It's such a sad story. The whole reason that I set this page up is so other people don't go down the route that she did. No one is alone. You know, it doesn't matter if you're lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, genderqueer. There are people out there who feel the same as you. There are people out there who have gone through the things that you think that you're going to go through, or that have gone through the things that you're going through, and therefore their knowledge, their advice can help you get through the things that you're going through. So this support network has been set up in Layla's memory on the premise that no one else is going to be alone. We are going to make a difference. Come to the network, share the page, like the page, and, you know, share your views. If you have an issue, share it. You will get a lot of advice and support on there. You know, it's had quite a lot of likes already, you know, in the hundreds. And I'm really proud of that. I am doing this for one reason and one reason alone. I don't want another person to go through what Layla went through. I understand exactly what, you know, why she did what she did. And I'm not saying this for any other reason, so you can try and understand what it is like. A bit of a history about me. I've had trans issues since I was young. As soon as I know the difference between boy and girl, I felt different. And then, you know, it was around the age of 12, 13 that I, you know, understand what they called it, transsexual and sex change. you know, when I first discovered it, because, you know, we're talking about the 80s, so, you know, the language was very different around, you know, what we are. Sex change this, sex change that, but as soon as I realised that was possible, I wanted it, I yearned for it. You know, being a teenager, I really struggled. Your body's changed into something that you hate. I tried to push it down, you know, joined the army, thought that would get rid of it. That didn't work. I hated being in the army. I hated the whole kind of maleness of it, if I'm honest with you. You know, left the army, did the whole get married, have kids thing, and, you know, that didn't work either. And ultimately, you know, I've tried to commit suicide before. You know, I've been really depressed, I've been really low, but I'm sharing this with you so you understand that, you know, the things that Layla experienced are very real. You know, a lot of us who are different, who don't follow what everyone in society deems to be the norm, you know, the male-female relationship, or, you know, the heterosexual sexuality. A lot of us do struggle with that, and I think a lot of it comes down to biology, how we've evolved. You know, you look at kind of early man and, you know, evolution and stuff. If we weren't part of the tribe, if we didn't conform, we were ostracized. And I think it's a lot of the reason is why people will vilify you for being different. You know, they want the approval of their peers. They want to feel part of something. They need that security. All I'm saying to you is, if you're out there and you're struggling with being yourself, be yourself. I promise you, I'm not saying it is easy, and if you look back at my early blogs, when I was struggling and coming to terms with being transgender, and I revealed that I was, and I was going to be doing it at work and moving towns and everything else, and I was really struggling. If there's one thing that you can see in my whole of my transition from then to now, it's progress. You know, I was scared to leave the house. I was absolutely petrified. I was shaking, but I did it. And I've likened it to stepping off a plane, because once you do it, you're falling. There's no turning back, you know. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be transgender. It can be related to anything. But all I'm going to say to you, be yourself. Be authentic. Live your life. Don't be unhappy for other people's happiness. I promise you this. Being yourself is one of the most difficult decisions that you will ever make, but once you've made it, it's the best decision that you will ever make, and I promise you also that it'll be actually one of the best things that you've ever done, because in being yourself, in being authentic and being true to yourself, you're only going to attract the things and people into your life that love you for you rather than love you for something that you're not. You know, that's all I can say on the matter, really, but, you know, if you need guidance, if you need help, go to the LGBTQ support network. There are going to be people there who have gone through what you've gone through, who are going to understand you, and who are going to be able to support you. You are not alone. You don't have to think that you are alone. I promise you, you are not. In terms of me and my year, I look back at the last 12 months, and, you know, I'm sure I blogged around this time last year. What's changed? Physiologically, I've changed massively. I now can't fit in a lot of clothes I used to be able to, and it's not because I'm fat, it's because I'm growing a bum and hips. Hallelujah. I've now got boobs. Hallelujah. And, you know, things are improving. I've gone through some tough times. I've gone through a relationship that ended, and, you know, it made me grow, because ultimately it's proven to me that there is someone out there who can love me, who can accept me as me. And, you know, I think we're too hung up on what we are and how other people perceive us. Ultimately, you know, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you are happy in yourself and you are yourself, the rest, you know, will follow. So, you know, I've done things that really scare me, you know. I've joined a choir, I've started ballet because I've always wanted to do ballet. You know, ultimately, in doing the things that you love, in facing your fears, in doing things that scare you, I promise you, you will grow. Look at my first videos. I was absolutely bricking it. And look at me now. I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I'm moving forwards, I'm hopefully making a difference for others. And the only reason I'm doing this is so no one has to go through what I've gone through. You know, in us as a community, if we can share our knowledge, if we can share our experiences, then we make the world a better place. And you know, as I'm going to quote one of my heroes, Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker and author and life coach and everything else. I think ultimately, when me becomes we, the world becomes a better place. You know, and as Mahatma Gandhi, another one of my heroes, once said, is be the change in the universe you want to see. Get out there, make a difference, support each other, love each other, be kind to each other, but more important than anything else, be kind to yourself, love yourself. And I'm not saying that in a conceited way. I love myself in a way that I'm finally at peace with the person who I am, the person I've always been, and ultimately I've never been happier. So take care of yourself. Go to the page, LGBTQ Support Network on Facebook, like it, share your knowledge, share your experiences, share your problems, because that's what it's there for. Even in sharing the problem, if you don't get an answer to your problem, I hope that in sharing it, you will feel better for it and understand that you actually aren't alone. So thanks for watching. I really look forward to 2015, the plans that I have, the ventures that I'm going to be involved in, and as I always say, be yourself, no one else. Take care, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.